Welcome to Transportation Technology News. I'm your host, Jenny Ford, and today's guest is James Stevenson. Hi, James. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jenny.
So there's quite the phenomena taking place in today's trucking landscape. The rise of omni-channel sales is changing the supply chain. What's happening?
I think if you start and we take a look at what's happened really from a retailer's perspective, if you think about it, in 1905 and 2005, there really wasn't that much difference in terms of the way that people actually bought goods. You went to a store, you looked at what they had, you bought something, you took it home. If you had a problem with it, you took it back to the store. Fast forward to 2016, 2017, and everything is, the assumption is that you're going to sit in your living room and you're going to buy it. I think the 7 major retail chains closed over 1,000 stores last year, so they're struggling to remain relevant. And I think that as they're doing that, as transportation providers, we're going to have to be able to adapt and change with them in order to provide the services that they need in order to maintain the businesses that they've built over the years.
What does this mean for each stakeholder?
They have to compete by offering service. So no longer are they offering that intimate in-store experience. They have to have the ability from a service perspective to get that customer to come back to them repetitively when there's a lot of other shopping options that they're presented online. So from a transportation provider, what does that mean for us? That means that we have to be able to be flexible. So from a flexibility perspective, as they're offering these different shipping options, and maybe I get it delivered from the store, maybe I go buy it online, I get it picked up in the store the next day. All of these things that are happening are driving the transportation provider to provide flexibility to the retailers in order for them to be able to maintain that level of experience that the end consumer is looking for.
All of this is having a profound effect on transportation models, forcing freight carriers to rethink and expand their service offerings. What does the new transportation model look like?
Well, if you think about what it's been for the last 60, 70 years, you effectively went from a manufacturer to a warehouse or distribution center, from the distribution center to a store, and then the end consumer went to the store to pick the product up. Also, if there was a return process, they took it back to the store. So what we've effectively done through Omni-Channel and through the new e-commerce boom is we've taken that process and now we've kind of disintermediated that store from the process in a large percentage of the shipment. So you've got an opportunity now where the consumer could potentially get it directly delivered from the warehouse, or they maybe even go and pick that up. But in either case, the expectation is I'm going to have the ability to go get that within a day or two. So that changes the velocity with which we have to be able to move the goods through the supply chain in order to be able to provide that experience to the consumer.
James, this doesn't come without new challenges. What are those?
So as we start moving away from the full truckload movements, we get into an inherently less efficient model. So now we're seeing more LTL, more parcel, and much higher stop counts on the loads that we're hauling. So effectively what that does from a shipper's perspective is we have to now have a much more complex problem that we have to solve in terms of being able to deliver those goods in a much quicker fashion, and we have to provide enhanced visibility at the same time, which is a very challenging thing to do for most organizations, especially with the systems they currently have in place.
Well, how can our viewers think outside their comfort zone and meet the challenges set forth by this evolution?
We really have to start with technology. So the delivery process is evolving into one fluid motion as opposed to a series of independent events. So from a technology perspective, we have to have a system that was designed and built around the ability to manage a shipping cycle that is getting more and more compressed, while at the same time provide the visibility that the customer and their end customer expects. And while doing that, we still have to find a way to make a profit.
That's great. Thanks for joining us. One more thing though, where can our viewers get more information on this product?
You can visit tmwsystems.com. There's an on-demand webinar as well as a white paper on the subject.
Thank you for tuning in to Transportation Technology News. See you next time.